Just getting started or feeling stuck? Wherever you're at, the VO Dojo is here to help you take your voiceover career all the way. Get the training, support, and connection you need to guide you every step of the way from I don't know to working pro. You get a rock-solid foundation and all the tools you need for your sustained, successful voiceover career. Mindset, skill set, and real-world experience, all in a hands-on, hearts-in, supportive community. Join us at thevodojo.com.
Welcome everyone to the VO Dojo Ask the Sensei. This is our free monthly Q&A, usually on the first Wednesday of the month, but because our amazing guest sensei today is my friend and colleague, Bob Bergen, we adjusted so we could fit his incredibly, wonderfully busy schedule. So the idea of this opportunity each month is to create a space where I invite one of my esteemed colleagues here to answer your questions. So obviously, if you have questions about what we're up to and how things work for us, but we want the focus that we're here for you. And what questions do you have that are going to move your, where are you stuck? What questions can you ask that will move your, move you forward in that we can help you with? Yeah, so we have a little extended dance mix time here with Bob. We're scheduled for 90 minutes. Bob said he has a little flex, so hopefully everyone can stay for that. We are recording, and so if you have to leave, you can catch the thing, the replay. Bob, I'm going to have Bob introduce himself a little bit. A lot, goes without saying, and then there's always things to be said. And then the way this works is if y'all can put your questions in the chat. Well, actually, before you do that, let's hear where you're from and where you're at on your journey. And then we can start putting the questions in the chat. And then we'll just answer as many as we can in the time that we have, and we'll let it unfold organically. And super excited that you're all here. And Bob, especially excited that you are here. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. I'm happy to be here. I don't leave this room. I rarely leave this room. I have a session next Tuesday in studio, and I'm like, oh, really? I got to drive. I got to drive home at 6 p.m. with traffic, and in fact, I was doing yesterday. There was a thing for the Television Academy called Televerse, and I was on a panel with E.G. Daly and Maurice LaMarche and Gary Berry.
I was to see you were out in the world with.
Yeah, I was out in the world. It was fun. Did a couple of panels, and we were all talking about how spoiled we are. That the usually the most we travel is from the studio to the bathroom or to the kitchen to get coffee or whatever. So we're just very spoiled to be able to work from home these days.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and then it's interesting how the world is accessible from our rooms now too, right?
Yeah.
Like we're able to be here and then be with everybody as well.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of miss reading. Working with my full cast, because we work pretty much solo these days. And the editor must go mad having to put that puzzle together to make us sound like we're in the same scene or the same cartoon or the same universe. But it's been working for 4 or 5 years, so I think it's going to continue working.
Yeah. Well, I think probably most people who are here have some sense of who you are and what you've been up to, for the last many decades. But how do you introduce yourself now, and how do you articulate what you're up to in the world?
I mean, if people ask me what I do for a living, I'm a voice actor. It's pretty simple. And what was your other question?
Oh, how do you articulate? Like what have you? How do you talk about what you have done, what you're doing now?
So what's interesting is, I'm going to do this for you guys, but I'm not one who likes to talk about myself, you know. If I'm in a crowd, like last night, I was out for dinner. You know, what do you do? I'm a voice actor, and I leave it at that. If they want to delve further, they're welcome to. But I'm not going to go, well, I'm a 5-time Emmy-nominated voice actor, don't you? No,
Right,
that gets a little nauseous. Yeah, I mean, I'm a very, very fortunate person that for the past 43 years, I've made a living doing what I love, which is doing primarily voices for cartoons, but I also do promos, I do commercials, I do games. The only genre of voiceover that I have chosen not to dive into is audiobooks, because the idea of reading a book out loud that I wouldn't read for enjoyment, I'd rather watch a grapefruit grow from seed. I also, whoever decided, let's make the formula to get paid the finished edited hour rather than the time it took you to do that, was a schmuck. And forgive me if schmuck is a bad word for you, but you were. If that, I mean, it's been going on for decades, so nobody on this call or this Zoom did that. But
damn it.
it's a horrible deal, and it's not something that I want to dive into. But I've got friends who are passionate about it, great at it, and love it. Like my buddy Scott Brick, nobody better. I mean, and this is his passion, this is his love. So I'm in the process right now of writing a memoir, and I think one of the sells to a publisher is I got to do the audiobook. So I'm not looking forward to that. So, but you know, that's part of the business that is show.
Yeah, we'll connect you with Amy Rubinett, who helps all the celebrities rock their audiobooks. So
Okay.
it'll be gentle and easy.
All right.
Well, I think this is one of the you know, having you here is really powerful because you are so anchored in, this is the work, this is what we do, I do it, you do it, we hit things that, you know, that take over legendary, carry on lineages and legendary things. I got to see you and at the Don LaFontaine lab talking about carrying on the Looney Tune legacies.
Yeah.
And then we stay humble and we stay you know, full of humility and gratitude, and it doesn't stop, right? You are this, you've had this, but you're in the trenches like we
yeah.
on
I
everything.
mean, and people, it's so funny when I did this panel yesterday with these fellow voice actors. I mean, we're talking like, you know, rock star animation voice actors, and we were talking about auditioning, and I could see the audience like, you audition? Like, yeah, that's our job. And what I always tell my voiceover students is, I work my butt off to get to where I'm at. I work even harder to stay here. So yeah, the hard work. I mean, it's unless you want to retire, but I have no desire to retire. I have no need to retire. So it's always going to be, you know, no matter how successful any of us are who do what we do, we're, you know, the definition of working class actor. You know, I've done some high profile stuff. I've been very, very fortunate, but I'm a working class actor.
Yeah. And I think, can you talk just a little bit, because I think we didn't get to do, we usually do our Dojo 21 questions with our Ask the Sensei. And since we have a little extra time, but the Dojo 21 questions sort of ask sort of origin story. I think your origin story is so powerful as well, because it starts when you were super young and super focused, and made some, you know, did some things that went after what you did to build relationships, and then it also took a long time, right?
Oh
Yeah, so if you could tell a little bit about that, that would be great, because I think understanding that legendary people start that it takes a while.
yeah. Well, I mean, you know, just I was a fan of cartoons. I was a kid watching Saturday morning cartoons with a bowl of Captain Crunch, and my mom used to tell a story that she'd watch me watching cartoons, and she'd hear the line on the TV, and then she'd hear me repeat it like the character. And no, I told my parents I wanted to be Porky Pig when I was 5 years old. My mom said, "You can't be Porky Pig, you're Jewish," and I didn't know what that meant because we were not the most religious Jews on the planet. And I got lucky that my dad moved the family to LA when I was 14. So it's a long story. I'm going to kind of cut it short because I've told it a million times, but I found Mel Blanc's phone number in the phone book. I called him up. I taped the conversation, which is not legal, but I did. And through the course of the conversation, he happened to mention the name of the studio he was working at that week. He didn't say the time or the day. He just said the name. And the studio was called Bell Sound. It still exists. Mm-hmm. And I called Bell Sound pretending to be his assistant to get the time and the day of his appointment. And I gave it to me. And I told my mom, I'm skipping school on Wednesday and we're going to go watch Mel Blanc work. And she said, cool. So got to the studio, told the receptionist we were invited to see Mel Blanc work. We're guests of his. And she said, he's in that booth over there. We went to that booth over there. And his producer, she said, can I help you? And I said, yeah, we're friends of the receptionist. And she said we could watch. So I just basically lied my way in and I watched him work. And I was 14. This is 1978. So I was like, driving home with my mom. And I said, well, I guess I can't be Porky Pig right now. He's still doing it. My mom says, yeah, and you're also 14 and your voice has not changed. So I called Hanna-Barbera and they referred me to Dawes Butler. And I studied with Dawes off and on until he passed away. I studied with anybody that offered a voiceover class, but see, there weren't that many back then. Mm-hmm. There were like less than I can count on one hand how many classes there were, and they were all terrific. I studied acting for 2 years at a Meisner Conservatory. I did 3 years at the Groundlings. I got my first agent and my first job a week out of high school. I got my agent through a referral from Casey Kasem. And then I was a tour guide at Universal Studios for 5 years because that was what paid the bills. During those 5 years, my first 5 years, I had, the occasional job. The last 2 years I was a tour guide. I worked more as a voiceover actor. In fact, I had 32 sick days my last year. They fired me because, you can't have 32 sick days when you've got a 9 to 5. But I banked everything I made in voiceover. And I knew I had 2 years of living expenses saved up. Mm-hmm. So I was like, thank you for kicking the baby bird out of the nest, Universal Studios. And I said, okay, I'm going to invest 2 years. And if I'm not able to make a solid living and save after 2 years, then I'll do something else. So that was in 1987. And I bought my first home in 1990. Mel Blanc passed away in 1989. And I did my first Looney Tunes job in 1990. So it worked out fine. Mm-hmm. So that's a very tight, short answer to how did I get into this business?
Taking the leap, taking the chances,
yeah,
building the relationships, doing the work.
Sure. And by the way, it is about relationships. And what's interesting about today is we've never been more, I'm looking over here because that's where my computer monitor is. Mm-hmm. But I'm not ignoring you, but we've never been more connected on this thing called social media, but we've never been more separated either because people communicate with each other, but for all intents and purposes, we're all strangers. Gone are the days where you reach out to an ad exec. Well, not gone for me, gone for most people. Or I don't know how many people on this Zoom have regional agents, but if they do, have they ever flown to the region and taken their agent to dinner to give them an idea of what they want out of their career? I doubt it. Why? I didn't think of that. Well, that's all we thought about back then.
Right. Or we saw each other every day. Like, oh, hi, what's going on?
Oh my gosh.
My kid. Okay.
I mean,
what's going on? Yeah.
On a slow week, you'd go to Voicecasters twice. Mm-hmm. And you'd hang in that lobby longer than your audition because you wanted to hear Jack Angel make you laugh. Right. Or you wanted to be offended by Bob Ridgely, and because he did. And we would be spewed out onto Burbank Boulevard because it was literally it was our family. It was our fraternity. It was our sorority. So, when I did this panel yesterday and I got to actually hug Maurice LaMarche and E.G. and Debbie, and, we see each other, if we're close friends socially, I see Debbie and Ian as often as I can. But this thing called a relationship, it is all about relationships. It's a working relationship. And I wish more people, I don't know if it's because we're so removed, we're decades into the E generation, we're so removed from the concept of relationships. They think a voiceover group page is a relationship, and it's actually more group therapy than anything. And you people are making a lot of mistakes. You're committing career suicide by complaining and posting your insecurities, and you don't realize the reason why you're not working or can't get an agent is because everybody sees everything.
Right. There's so many layers here. I mean, like, I remember my first animated series with E.G., and she had her Manny and the kids, and we were
Yeah.
all there as a cast, and so we knew we knew everybody. We met everybody.
Oh yeah.
And then, a lot of what you're talking about, Bob, is really for me the heart of the dojo. Like, how do we in a virtual setting create that space where we see and know each other and are participating continuously and in community. It's very much what I always try to capture here, because you can't explain it. You can't explain the lobby to someone who didn't experience, and then you don't want to be like a jackass, like, well, back in my day. But yeah, it is different, and yet the need for that, the empowerment, the anchoring, the acceleration, the soaring that comes from being in that togetherness. And
Yeah.
and then the third thing you just said is the mindset. When you're sitting alone by yourself with just your thoughts, it's really easy to get into that negative swirl, and you don't have anyone to show you the way of, like, well, turn that frown upside down, but
Right.
or get the vortex going up so you can ride the thermal.
Right. I will tell you, I was lucky. When I was 16, I was invited to be in an all-day Saturday workout group with Don LaFontaine, Ernie Anderson, Jack Angel, Steve 𝗧𝗶𝗺𝗀, Danny Dark, and for some reason they included me. Now, I don't know. My parents thought they were pedophiles. My girl's like, what are these old dirty men want with you? And I'm like, well, Mom, if anybody does anything inappropriate, I'll leave. I promise. Nobody did. They saw potential. And these were 8-figure voiceover actors who got together once a week to work out because they want to stay 8-figure voiceover actors. And they brought my skills up so many layers and levels because I'm forced to try to at least come halfway, 20% to their brilliance. I never did. These guys were just rock stars. But I'll tell you that the best times was lunch, because during lunch, I would get advice. They told me how they marketed, which the same way I still market today. Don LaFontaine would always just give me these nuggets of brilliance, one of which was always carry yourself as a successful working actor and never break character, which people on social media are breaking every day. And they're doing it because everybody else is. The second piece of advice was only rub elbows and get advice from people on a bigger boat than you. Don't rub elbows and get advice from people on the same or a smaller boat, because you'll never grow to a bigger boat. So I only hung out with the best of the best, the working people. I was in voiceover classes forever. I didn't ask my fellow students, well, who did your demo? And what are you doing? And how did you? I asked the people who had the career that I wanted. And what's happening today is the majority of social media is social. And it's not, people aren't going the distance. Everybody's accessible. I used to call agents. I used to pretend to be a producer when I was like 17, 18 years old, because there was no internet and I didn't know what a demo sounded like. So I would call Herb Tannen, and I would call Nina at William Morris and say, hi, I'm producing a commercial or 5. And can you send me your house reel? So for the people watching this who don't know what that means, our demos were on reel to reel. And a house reel was a giant reel to reel with a 1-minute snippet of the top talent. Now, just because you were with the agent didn't mean you were on the house reel. That was only for the A-listers and the B-listers and maybe a few C-listers. And the house reel only came out every 1 to 3 years, depending on the budget of the agency. So you might sign with an agent 5 days after the house reel was put together, and you're not going to be on it. but I got the house reel and I got to listen to my competition. I was like, oh, that's how good I have to be. Oh, that's what that working actor's demo sounds like. Well, today, people, you can go to atlastalent.com and SBV and CESD and DPN and AVO and Vox and listen to everybody's demo. It drives me nuts when people ask me what goes on a demo. Google it. Google top voiceover agents and listen to demos. It's at your fingertips, but it's easier to go to a group Facebook page and ask people, you know what, do the work. I will bend over backwards for actors every day, and I do every day. I spend every waking hour in this room, if I'm not marketing, working, or auditioning, advising actors. And when I get, and I don't believe there's a thing called a stupid question, but when I get a stupid question, it pisses me off. Like, guys, I wish to God I had a thing called Google.
Contradictory, though. Can you say that? Can you say a little bit more about that?
About what?
It seems a little contradictory. You don't believe in them, but they piss you off, or the stupid question.
I'll tell you what pisses me off: actors that want handouts, actors that don't want to put in the work,
or aren't thinking creatively.
Right. Now,
Yeah.
here's what I do love. If somebody sends me a fabulous demo, what do you think? I'm gonna like, hey, okay, here's the deal. And I don't compliment demos lightly. That was a great demo. What are your career goals? If people, I don't know where everybody is in their career on this Zoom, but if you're pursuing voiceover right now, you've got to have an elevator pitch. An elevator pitch means I'm on floor 1, I'm going up to floor 2. I'm with John Wasser from Atlas. I'm with Colette Sunderman, voice director, casting director, and you've got one floor to pitch them. If you can't do that, you're not ready to pursue voiceover. If your answer is I just want to work, that's why you're not. I'll be real specific. I'm with Colette Sunderman, going up to one floor. I'd like to do every preschool show that you're doing right now on Amazon and Netflix, and then before the floor stops, you're gonna spew 3 or 4 of those shows. Or I'm on the elevator with make up something with Heather from Atlas, and going up the floor. I am an Adult Swim fanatic from Robot Chicken on, and I know you represent so and so, so and so, so and so. I am perfect for those shows. If you can't spew that, you're not ready for a demo or to pursue.
Right. And an elevator pitch is to intrigue, to get someone interested and want to talk to you more. So when the girls, oh, this is my floor, can I get you? How do I? Who are you? Like that it intrigues.
Yeah.
And how are you serving them too? Right.
Sure. Well, yeah, absolutely. Our job is to make their life better. What does that mean? I'm going to be the best client an agent ever had. I'm going to get my auditions in early. I'm going to take risks with creative risks. I'm going to market myself. If it's a job, I'm going to get there half hour early, be willing to stay late, take direction, but also bring my own individual choices and creativity, because we're hired as actors to bring something to the table. But yeah, I want to make their lives better. I want to solve a problem. And that problem is, the best actor to represent the best actor to hire.
Right. And then to be able, this is what we do at the dojo too. We create the space where you can develop and understand what it is that you're bringing to the party,
right?
How to articulate it, then how to have the materials that support it, and then how to define what you're here to do in the world and what you want to do. Where do you want this to take you? You're driving the car. Then you build the team, but you can't do that. You can't do that if you're just like, I want to do voiceover. I want an agent. like, yeah, that's, you have to know and take responsibility. And then you need to know that you're on the elevator with Colette or with Heather, who are these
Right.
people, and what is like that's the next layer.
You
So
know, what's interesting to me is that, you know, people, hey, can you refer me to your agent?
I
And,
could.
and I'll say, do you know who I'm with? If they say no, that's strike one. Because all
Oh,
they got to do is go to my website. You can see that I'm with Atlas Talent. Do you know who I'm with? Let's say they say yes, you're with Atlas Talent. Then I'm gonna say, tell me about Heather Dame. Tell me about John Wasser. Tell me about 𝗧𝗶𝗺𝗏 Well, they're the agents. I said, yeah, I know they're the agents. Every one of them is on social media. You can look at their social media page and see if they like fine wine, if they go horseback riding, if they have kids at NYU. You can see if they like to go to theater. This is that no brainer that people, when they have a job interview, they research the person they're interviewing with, and all voice actors want is, can you refer me? And I want to be a voice actor. You're interviewing with a person, not a building. So you learn something about them. You might find you have something in common. So this is all really, really important stuff that most people today don't think about when they're wanting to shop an agent. We said it earlier, Tish. I mean, can we keep saying it? It's about relationships.
Yeah, yeah. And it's who you know, and then being someone who's interesting to know.
Yeah.
Too.
And nice goes a long way. Nice is very important.
Yes, yes. I'm in Chicago right now with my family and dropping my kid off at college. And I had lunch. I have a new clients, and we were introduced by an old Dojo member, and suddenly there's like, oh my gosh, all this collaboration. I did some work. I was able to refer another like Dojo members for work, like just in this short amount of time. And then I was like, hey, I'm in Chicago. Let's have lunch. So now I've met them in person. And where was I going with this?
I don't know, but you're going well.
And now we know each other.
Yeah.
Oh, and I was talking to there's the guy who runs the new model of an advertising agency. So that's kind of cool. They're doing some really cutting edge things, thinking outside of the box.
Yeah.
And then there's a young director. Who's back and forth from Chicago to LA. And so everyone's up and coming and building on what they previously know, right? And the young director and I had a discussion about how far Midwestern work ethic and kindness ethic goes when you're in LA, but I think it goes anywhere. That if you can bring that, like, oh, hi, I'm a kind person and I do hard work.
Right. That's
People
good. Yeah.
resonate with that. So
yeah.
Yeah. And that goes, you can bring a Midwestern work ethic wherever you're from.
Well, you know what?
Don't
It's
have
so
to
interesting
be.
you said that, because nobody's from LA. You know, everybody's
Well,
from
except for my kids
someplace
who are now
else.
moving to the Midwest.
Well, yeah, I'm from the Midwest, so I know so many people that I work with all the time, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm from Ohio, I'm from Indiana, I'm from Missouri." Yeah, so it's yeah, that's. But man, there is it sounds cliche, but that Midwest, corn-fed, work ethic, kind, generous. I think those are all really important pieces of the recipe of success in anything you do.
Yeah. So the moral of the story is always bring a hot dish.
There we go. I love that. I love that. Or a really nice whiskey. I'm fine with that.
Well, this has been fantastic and sets the playground for us to start answering some questions.
I see a question from Matthew to start us off. Matthew, come on up, friend.
And before you ask your question, Matthew, I also just want to all commend Matthew as a new Dojo member, and Matthew is always first with his hand up.
Good for Matthew.
And it makes a difference, and he's always first. Not because he's a brat and wants to be first, because he's genuinely right here. And that's something we all, at the dojo, whenever there's a pause, but if there's a pause, like who wants to go first? If there's a pause, I'm like, who wants the job, motherfuckers? And then everybody's hand shoots out, but Matthew doesn't need that prompting. So anyway, Matthew, welcome.
Oh, thanks, Tish. Actually, I think Steve had a question before me. I was about to mention that.
Oh, it might have been in the chat before I got here. Steve, did you have a question, and can you come up?
Yeah, I can come up. How are you?
Hi.
Introduce yourself and say who you are and where you are, Steve.
I'm Steve Fox, and I've been back and forth with Trish for the last number of years.
Tish.
I have no
Tish.
Tish.
Good
Tish.
to say people you know's name properly in terms of
Sorry, Tish. Sorry, Tish. I have no acting background. I have no voiceover background. I've just.
But what are you doing here? Why are we here today?
Well, because you're a legend.
Yeah, you know, it's okay. My mom thought I was kind of cool, but thank you. That's very sweet.
And I do a really bad Porky Pig, which I'm not going to do.
Which I'm happy for that. That's great.
And I'm just I just want something fun to work on.
What's your question?
Not real estate. So my question is, you talked about a lot of networking and connections and up in elevators in Los Angeles. Well, I don't live in Los Angeles. I live in Arizona. So what's your advice starting out with very little experience, no experience in this outside the market?
Well, what's the market?
Well, the market in LA where a lot of businesses.
Well, so now let's define what it is. If I have a magic wand and this is Steve's voiceover career, tell me what it looks like.
Man, I am just starting out. I am as
okay, great. So you're in a perfect place. If you want to do animation, you got to live in Los Angeles today. If you're a working actor, if you're a tried and true actor in animation, you can live anywhere. So, and COVID did that. We never worked from home when before COVID doing animation. We'd go to studio, and even if you were just reading by yourself because the rest of the cast was busy, you were in studio. First thing you need to do, my friend, is just go to iwanttobeavoiceactor.com, D. Bradley Baker's site, and just read it from top to bottom. Go to every voiceover agent's site and listen to the various genres of voiceover demos. The commercial, the promo, etc. Get an idea of what voiceover means. If you're looking at voiceover like it's an umbrella, that's overwhelming. I want to do commercials. I want to do promos. I want to do documentary narration. I want to do Food Network, HGTV type narration, etc. So you got to know what it is you want to do. My advice to you first, my friend, is you got to study acting. You got to study acting, you got to study improv, and then you study voiceover. And each genre of voiceover requires its own training, demo, and marketing. So there's not like I do voiceover, I can do anything. You've got to know what it is you want to do and then pursue that specifically. But it all starts with acting. So if you've had no acting background, I did 2 years at a Meisner Conservatory after I started studying voiceover. And then I went back to voiceover and applied the acting technique I lacked. The difference between a trained actor and a non-trained actor is a trained actor makes a choice, a non-trained actor makes a guess. You've got to be able to repeat your acting skills consistently at will. That only comes with technique and training. There's a muscle that you're working out. So, you know, I studied with John Ruskin, the Ruskin School of Acting. I know he's got a online course for people who don't live in Los Angeles. I can tell you it's not going to be as good as if doing it in person. But look, you're not in any rush. It's not like you need to have a demo by Thursday. You want to do this for fun. So did I. I didn't go into this because I'm laying tar on streets. I did this because acting feeds my soul the way food feeds my body. And I swear to God, this is true, Steve, and to everybody. Every time I go into my booth for an audition, my thought is not to book it. I don't even think about, I don't care. I just go in there to have fun. And if and when, like I got a text from or a call from my agent a couple days ago. Hey, you've got a call back on the so-and-so game. I didn't even remember reading for the so-and-so game. I had to go back, and it was like 2 months ago. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that was fun. So once I audition and send, it's out of my head. You've got to get to that place. You got to get to that place where you're just playing, just having fun. But it starts with acting class.
Okay, great advice. Really appreciate it.
Sure.
And just a little background on Steve. Steve just recontacted me. He took an initial class 10 years ago and decided to go a different way, and it's now just coming back. So Steve,
Awesome.
all these questions that you're asking, that you're feeling when you step into what we're doing at the dojo and the Mystery to Mastery, this is what we do. This is what we cover. This is what we create a path for. And we will be talking about it in a way that is about taking it slow so you can grow. On Wednesday of this week, we have my friend Benjamin Mathis from Crash Acting, who's going to be talking about talking about what Bob just said. Acting is so important to what we're doing here. So yeah, you're in the right place, and it's really cool to hear and feel the energy of the questions that Bob was talking about, of like, hey, I want to do it. Great. You're in the right place. And now start asking the questions, taking the actions, and trusting that it will come. So really good. Really glad you're here.
Thanks, Tish.
Yeah, you're welcome, Steve. Good. All right, Kels, who's next?
Okay, awesome. We have, oh yeah, Matthew, come on back up.
Thanks,
Hi,
Matt.
Bob. Yeah. Hi, Bob. Thank you so much for being here today. Honestly, it's been a total wealth of info, both with this Q&A and the webinar you did with Eliza Jane and her students. I learned so much from both of these, and it completely was a total paradigm shift in my head about how to really understand relationships and building connections in voiceover.
Matthew, can you turn up your gain just a bit?
Oh, good. I thought it was me. I'm like, okay,
Sorry.
the old age hit me just now. I can't hear a thing.
Sorry, can you hear me
The
now?
career's over.
Yep. Yeah, we can hear you, Matthew. Thank you.
Yeah, but I really liked the whole idea of it's all about relationships and just building those connections. Total paradigm shift in my head on how to approach this concept of getting an agent. So I kind of wanted to further expand on that for you personally. How did you market and present yourself to Atlas for representation? And in your case, how did you know when you were ready at that point to bring that value to the agent and make their lives easier?
Well, I mean, I'd been in the business for decades before I signed with Atlas. So I came to the table with a body of work. Here's how I got Atlas. I was in New York performing my one-man show, and Heather came to the show. I didn't invite her. She just heard I was going to be coming and showed up at the show. And afterwards gave me her card, and she said, I don't know if you're interested in talking representation, but would you like to get lunch tomorrow? And I said, sure. And 3-hour lunch. All of a sudden she says to me, she goes, I never take lunch. I never take 3 hours. Holy crap. I was with CESD at the time, and I was not ready to make the move. Atlas at the time was only in New York. They hadn't moved to LA yet. So I came back home, and I kind of looked at the amount of activity I was getting from CESD in New York. And my contract with CESD was about to expire. So I had a conversation with Paul Doherty. He's the D in CESD. And I said, listen, I'm not getting a lot of love from your New York office. And if I resign, I want to exclude New York. And he said, that's fine. And so I called Heather and I said, let's play. And so that's how I got with Atlas.
Thank you.
I think this is on the right track of knowing who the people are, and then knowing what you're bringing to the table. I think with agents, first of all, having the mindset that agents are people that when you're on the road, when you've built your car, you've gathered all the parts of your car, you've assembled your vehicle, you've pimped your ride, you're an excellent driver, and then you know where you're going and why you're going there. Then you talk to people who are agents and then you choose who are the people who are going to get you where you want to go, who will be helping you navigate, who will be bringing you resources, and who do you want to be on a road trip with, right? And then, so there's that aspect of you driving your car and then making decisions about relationships that you want to be in. And then from their perspective, what birds are you bringing to the, like, I always think of like cats bringing, like, here's my canaries, right? I'm the voice of this. I've been making this much money doing this. Here's what I'm bringing. Here's my vision. Want to ride with me? Like, what are you bringing to the table? And then who do you want to be playing with? Those are two separate.
Yeah, and you said something that I say it a different way, but you said it perfectly. Take off your actor hat, put on your agent hat. You get 100 demo submissions a week. Why is this actor different? Interesting. What do they have to offer? So in the cover letter, when you submit to an agent, if you say seeking representation in the subject line, you might as well say dump me in the trash. But if you send the larger agents, they have the commercial department, the animation department, the promo department. Every agent gets the proper demo. Now, if you don't have a promo demo, you don't send it to the promo agent. But let's say you've got that animation demo. Well, you better say in the subject line, referred by, and that by better be impressive. And it should not be an actor, and it should not be a coach. It should be a buyer. It should be a Maria Estrada, Mary Elizabeth McClellan. It should be one of the showrunners at Disney. It should be somebody that has clout. It means, oh my God, they know this person. I know this person. That's the cell connection. In the body of the email, recent work includes, and you mention the players, because again, it's about relationships. You don't just say target commercial radio, target commercial radio, Leo Burnett advertising, Joe Schmo, writer, producer. The agent goes, oh my God, I work with Joe all the time. He's going to be such an easy sell the next time I have an audition from Joe. Or the agent's going to go, I've been trying to get a relationship with Joe Schmo from Leo Burnett for 10 years. Holy cow, this actor just brought me a gold mine for my whole agency. That's the relationship with everybody. You bring value. So that's what you bring to the table is value. It's not just about having a great demo. It's not just about having great acting skills. It's about the whole package. And if you don't have the whole package, well, maybe you're not ready for an agent yet. That's okay. We all have to grow and build our career. I got my first agent, Casey Kasem got me my first agent when I sat down with this agent and said, what's a SAG card? I'd studied voiceover for 4 years, but they never talked about business. They only talked about craft. And I got a Taft-Hartley for my first cartoon a week later. And which, for you, those of you who don't know, that was what made me eligible to join SAG at the time. It's merged now. So I went and joined SAG. It was $600 and something. And my job paid me something like $700. And I said to my agent, how do you make a profit at this? Do I have to buy a SAG card every single time I work? And he goes, no, just once. Oh, and you have to go join after now. Oh, okay. But that anybody could join, didn't have to qualify. And that was 300 and something. It was like $1,000 just to be an unemployed actor. Well, that's the business of show business. I didn't know that. But they don't develop talent anymore at agencies. They used to. The reason they don't is because of the pay to plays. And because so much of the work is non-union, the agents just aren't going to take a fresh off the boat green actor and develop them. You've got to come to the table with something of substance to represent.
Yeah, not ultimately, what can we, not what can you do for me, ultimately, what can we do together?
Yeah.
And here's what I can do for you.
Well, an agent gets 10%, you do 90.
Exactly.
And they're also not mind readers. An agent needs to know, like if you were to sit down with your agent and say, you know what, I did improv for years, sketch comedy. I excel at comedy. I really want to do really just funny partner radio spots.
Mhm.
Well, do you have a demo that reflects that? Well, no, but okay, there should be no but. It should be, and here's my spanking brand new demo that
Mhm.
reflects that.
That I invested money because this is my business and I do things professionally.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was just talking to our next Ask the Sensei guest, 𝗧𝗶𝗺𝗀 𝗦𝘁, who
I love Segunda.
yeah, she we saw each other at a party of all the voiceover ladies, and she's like, because that's Secunda, because she's
Oh my God, yeah.
essentially herself.
Right.
She said, do you know that, haven't seen you in such a long time, but you and the VO Dojo Fight Club made such a difference in what has become my successful animation career, because I came to my first Fight Club a little bit after I got my first agent, which was Pat Brady at CESD, who is a legendary agent and a amazing agent that takes it. So here's a story. It was a legendary night. We'll talk about it next month, but Dan 𝗀𝗺𝗻𝗺 was the guest of one of the creators of Phineas and Ferb. And we did it at Media City Sound, and there was a blackout. So we were like, oh crap, what are we going to do? But it was a summer night, and there was a little like kind of amphitheater outside.
Fun.
We were like, let's move it outside. And so we had this epic evening, and Secunda, we all rocked it. It was such a vibrant energy, and Secunda did really, really well. And she said, before that, I didn't believe in myself. I didn't know I could do it. And she was the chosen one, or one of the chosen ones for that night. She told Pat. Pat was like, I know Dan. Called up, said, hey, I hear you met my girl. And so like that was the confidence, that's how we want to have our agents working with and for us. We go out, we jump through our fears, we do what we didn't know we could do, we meet the people who are doing the things, and then we tell our agent, and they go like, oh hey, let's work on this. So like that's what we want to happen.
But it starts with figuring out exactly what you want out of your voiceover career. I just want to work is why you're not. And it has to be specific. What do I mean by specific? I want to be the promo comedy voice for CBS. That's specific. I want to do PBS Kids a la Daniel 𝗧𝗶𝗺𝗀 𝗦𝘁. Okay, go to IMDb. Who are the players? Who's the casting director? Who are the actors? Who are the actors' agents? Put all that together. Reach out to the showrunner, the head of the network on LinkedIn. Start planting those dots. I call them dots. You don't know when you're going to connect the dot, but eventually you're going to, it might be a day, it might be 5 years, but all you want to do is connect the dots.
Yeah. And then before you can know what you want to do, you kind of need to know what the whole thing is about.
Yeah.
You need to know what is possible. And exactly. Yeah. Cool. Okay, let's go to some more questions. These first two have been fantastic. Let's make sure we start, maybe we can pick up the pace on getting the questions out there and getting the answers out.
All right, we've got plenty in the chamber. So next up we got Heather Johnson. Come on up.
Hey Heather.
Hi. My name's Heather Johnson. Hi, Bob Bergen.
Hello, Heather.
So cool to meet you. I'm originally from the Midwest as well, but I'm living in Alhambra, California to pursue this work. And I am a big fan.
A big fan?
A big fan.
Okay, good.
But my question for you today, since you always have a very long wait list for your classes, I'm just hoping to glean a little bit here is, when you're coaching your students, what advice or techniques do you suggest to them to help them reach their creative potential for character creation?
So vague, that question. Be brilliant is the answer. Now you have to, what does that mean? Well, all characters have a voice, but not all voices have character. It's all about creating a character. You're not, I mean, you might do a wonderful read and stay in character, and it sounds terrific. If you're not asking, who am I talking to? What's our relationship? Where are we? If you're not thinking about what your character's coming off of before this scene, and they're not lines, they're scenes, then you're not invested in the character. You've got to make choices. It doesn't matter what your choices are. It matters that you make them. You're auditioning by yourself. There's nobody there to tell you what you can't do. There's also nobody there to tell you what they want. Well, the reason they're holding auditions is because they don't know what they want. God created Take Two. So, you know, I really am respectful of this, especially if it's a pilot. I'm respectful of the script. That doesn't mean I don't ad lib. I do, but I don't ad lib to the point where it sounds like I'm trying to improve on the writer. But if I do a take two, it's completely outside the box, as if I never even read the specs. And sometimes I'll look at the specs and go, that's not me. I'll ignore the specs entirely, just do one take and make the character what I think it would be if I was the casting director and the producer. You gotta take these risks. These are the choices and the risks an actor takes. If you're playing it safe, you know, I'll give you an example. About a year or two ago, I was auditioning for some cartoon, just a one-off. It said 55 to 65-year-old, first-time grandpa meeting his grandson for the first time. And the line was something like, oh, look at that face. He's a spitting image of his grandpa. So I did my audition, you know, hey, look at his face. He's a spitting image of his grandpa. Heather calls me up. How old's the character? 55 to 60. How old are you? 55 to 60. Why do you sound 155? Because it says he's a grandpa. Bob, play your age. Just make him more grounded. He's a first-time grandpa. What's going through his mind? How old's his son? Probably early 20s. Can his son afford this? Does his son need advice? Are you still working? Are you close to retirement? I want to hear all of that. Has your son's wife had 3 miscarriages until this finally having this one? Now, who's going to think of this stuff? A really good actor. And this is the 4th try, and this one worked after 3 miscarriages. And he might have just one little tear right here. Now you're thinking, but it's just a cartoon. No, it's acting. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I'm trying to give you something very specific and deep to answer to your question, because that's what we do. I don't spend a lot of time figuring this stuff out. It just comes to me. But I'm 43 years into this. It didn't come to me 40 years ago. But this is the depth of acting that a working actor brings to a promo, brings to a car spot, brings to everything. It's intent. It's relationships. It's subtext. It's all the stuff that you do as an actor.
Everything you just said, Bob, is about the nuance, right? What is the difference between first, but you know, after so many tries? That's so nuanced. Yeah. Good.
And when all of this stuff is a breeze, you're demo ready. You don't make a demo and then get there.
Yes. One of our barometers here is, can you pick up any piece of copy in the genre that you're going to be making a demo? Can you nail it within 1 or 2 takes without any direction? Now let's talk.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Good. Awesome. Great question. Beautiful answer. What's next, Kels?
All righty. We have Amir Gold. Come on up.
Yeah.
If you can.
Sure, I can. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
First time at the VO Dojo. Thank you for the email. I'm on some mailing list, and it was a pleasure getting the email and hearing all this advice. Thank you again. I had 2 questions. First one is, if like me, you're an actor with live action credits, does that carry weight in voiceover, or will you treat it as a completely separate career track?
Well, here's the deal. I mean, you know, a working actor is something everybody wants, but your experience, you probably get your on-camera work from an on-camera agent. They don't do voiceover. They might do the occasional animated feature, but they're not going to do the day-to-day voiceover. So that ain't going to help you there. But if you've got an extensive comedy background in on-camera, people, cartoons are comedies. People want to work with people who've got comedy chops. If you happen to be working on something where somebody from that on camera, whatever, is working in voiceover, animation, whatever, but I doubt it. My gut tells me probably not, just like the majority of those who do voiceover casting, voice directing, they don't do on camera. So I don't know if it's going to help you, other than the fact that you're acting, you're getting experience. That's going to help you no matter what you want to do, be it voiceover or Shakespeare or a soap opera or a single camera sitcom versus a multi-camera sitcom. So in that case, yeah, it'll help you, but I don't think it's going to go. Well, I take that back. I can guarantee if Brad Pitt or Halle Berry were to contact Heather and say, I'd like to get into voiceover, she's going to say, oh, yeah, sure. That sounds, that sounds good. But they're coming with the clout that is who they are. Just a working class character actor who's unknown, probably not.
Although I do think that there is something beneficial in that if you are working in the industry as an actor, that you probably have some sense of the craft, and you also have some sense of the business of being part of the industry, that if you don't, Steve was saying, oh, I don't have any experience in here, that's going to be a different learning curve, not unlearnable, but you just don't understand. You know, you might be coming. So you have an understanding of what it is to paddle out, try and catch a wave, get caught in the surf, get back out. You know what the realities are about it. That serves you. And then you just keep on, what's the right word? Correlating what is applicable from this skill set and how does it adapt to this medium? How do we adapt it to this medium? So I think that there are beneficial things, and if you know how a set runs, if you know how being part of a collaborative effort is, and that what's important there. That's the same thing of showing up to a directed session and knowing what to do. And, you may not know what to do, but you know a little bit about that, which is, if you don't have any experience of that, then you have to learn that. You get to learn that, not you have to learn that. You get to learn that, and you learn it. One of our early senseis is my friend Scott Holst, who we were in our first voiceover class when I first moved from Chicago 30 years ago, and he was driving up from San Diego, and I remember standing in the parking lot going, we're gonna do this, man. And when he's a little he can be he's awesome, and he also can be a little curmudgeon-y, but he would come to classes and be like, you know how we learned this? On the job. That's how we learned it. We didn't go to workouts. Well, we did go to workouts, but we didn't, so there's stuff that from being on the job in that context that is applicable, and then just show up like a pro here and know that it's not given, all that other stuff. So yeah. What's your second question, Amir?
Yeah, thank you. I can recognize that you're from Chicago because my wife is from Chicago, and she has the same kind of, and I'm the curmudgeon most often, not as optimistic as she is. She has a business that is called Optimistic Anthropology. So, but the second question is, since I'm one of those actors just looking for work right now because we're relocating to Washington, D.C., where do you see the biggest opportunities for opening in voiceover? Is it the games? Is it dubbing? Is it animation? Maybe even audiobooks are like the chance now?
That's like saying, so where do you see the biggest openings on Broadway? You're looking at the umbrella that is voiceover. So again, magic wand. Here's your career. What do you want to do? What would it look like? Don't look for openings. Look for where you fit. Yes. I am the world's greatest promo announcer, dramatic promo announcer, whimsical rom-com promo announcer, children's programming promo announcer. So you need to know what you want to do and make it open. Nobody needs another voice, you guys. No agent needs another client. They need the next brilliant client. It's not a coincidence when a student of mine makes that brilliant demo, sends it to 9 agents and gets 7 emails back within an hour. Let's set up a meeting. Because brilliance is a slap in the face. That's what everybody wants. That's your opening. Your opening is be great. Just be great and everything will fall into place.
Yeah. Yeah. And know what and why you are doing. Where are you brilliant? If you don't want to do audiobooks, then really truly do not do audiobooks. Because don't do it. Yeah. So yeah. And then I think sometimes we bring, sometimes people call about like, well, tell me about the classes, and then the mom cuts on the phone like, well, how many people have had success and
Oh yeah.
some statistics. I'm like, no, lady, it's the industry. I can tell you what happens to people here, but it's not the same Bureau of Labor Statistics sort of thing.
Yeah, I will tell you, I will get on occasion, if I get the question, how much money can I make? I'll say, you know what, I'm not the right teacher for you. Because the answer is nothing and millions.
Right.
But all I'm going to teach you is craft. I can't guarantee my own next job. How can I guarantee you one? So number one, if they ask me about how much money they can make, I'm not interested. If they say, can you name how many of your students are working today? Well, they're looking for a guarantee again. Very few in almost 40 years of teaching of my students have made it to the top. What I will tell you is that when I saw the first day at the mic in a class, I was like, it factor. I'll mention just a handful of names. J.P. Karliak, Steve Bloom, Max Middleman, Misty Lee, Nikki Breyer, Caitlin Robrock, Daniel Ross. I mean, there's just a handful, not many, that first time at the mic, I'm like, man, it is a matter of time. That's it. I never tell them that because I don't want them to get a swelled head and stop trying. But I will always, and then I look for the work ethic.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Those people like Caitlin met
Robrock.
Heather. Yeah. Caitlin met Renee Johnson from Disney Character Voices at a Fight Club. Is that why she's the voice of Minnie Mouse right now? No, but she had that relationship and she's so good and she works so hard and it's focused that all of those people that you talk about are like crazy hard workers, put everything into it as well as working with the best like you. So
yeah, I've had students that were brilliant, but they were trust fund babies, had more money than God, and didn't have the passion and the hunger. And I've had students who were brilliant. I didn't know they were living out of their car. They never complained once. They never bitched how expensive anything was. They worked like I did 5 days, 7 nights a week in survival jobs at the beginning of my career to be able to afford it, and just did it rather than go to social media and complain about every little thing. And the time they take to complain on social media, they could have done something so wonderfully positive and productive for their career.
Yeah, good. Excellent. Great to have your questions, Amir. And you are located in someplace interesting, right? Interesting to us, probably like just where you live, but
yeah, I've lived most of my life in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and I just got my green card. And we're moving to Washington, D.C. in a couple of weeks.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, cool. All right, who's next, Kels?
Stephanie, come on up if you can.
Hi.
Hello.
Thanks so much for being here. You
Sure.
kind of touched upon this a little bit, but my question is it more advantageous to be rich in your niche, or would taking more of a generalist approach make more sense?
I don't know what that means.
Okay.
Can you rephrase that?
Yeah, for sure. So if a voice actor says, I only want to do video games, right? And that's all they want to focus on, that's all they want to do. Is that more advantageous versus the actor who's like, no, I'll do everything, like audiobooks, commercial, promo, etc.
All you got to be is brilliant at what you want to do. If you're brilliant in all of those genres, fantastic. If you're brilliant in games, but you kind of get by in commercials, you're okay with audiobook. Well, nobody needs mediocre. Everybody wants brilliant. So just strive to be brilliant at what you want to do. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to do everything. But what you want to do, you have to do it really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then on top of that, like one of the other things we say at the Dojo, the first thing I say in class is, in the kindest possible way, no one cares if you do this or not. So if you
that's important to say.
Yeah, nobody cares if you do this or not. Everything's going to be fine. Everything will get voiced. It'll be cool. And if you want to do it, you will find a way to do it. So that's
nobody also nobody cares that you had a car accident on the way to the session. Nobody cares that you overslept. Well, they do care if you overslept. Nobody cares that your pet died this morning. Nobody cares that you're in the process of getting a divorce. When you walk into a studio, you walk through that threshold into the studio, you leave your baggage outside, it will still be there when you're done. Mm-hmm. Nobody needs to hear woe is me, and stop posting it on social media. I'm telling you right now, I've Asian friends of mine have turned actors down after hearing a great demo with a terrific referral, and all they do is complain and bitch and moan.
Mm-hmm. I had cancer last year. I didn't mention it until I was done.
Yeah.
Done. Yeah. And then the other thing, Stephanie, about finding your niche, I think we need to find our niche, find the things that is, what are we here to do? And then we also need to be strategic about building our career if this is what we want to do full time, right? There's so many people who are like getting into this because they love anime and it's great. Anime is really important and what's happening in the world and etc. It's great. It pays dick.
Yeah, well, that's why most anime actors make their income on the weekend con convention.
Exactly. And so that, then that becomes your model. So then that is tangible. And you can also figure out how to do other things. How do you do all, what else can you do and go after your niche? And then,
Right.
Sometimes it works out. Sukunda does not, she said, I booked 3 commercials, but she's also tapped into having great representation. And we'll talk about this when she's here, but, she's also tapped into being in loop groups for Pixar movies. There you go. You're okay. Right. You're set, right? Yeah. So it's possible. And then you look at the big picture and then you figure out your specifics too.
Right.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah,
and everyone's going to have a different path. There's no like, here's how you do it.
Oh Lord, no. Don't let any coach, teacher, whatever say it's my way or the highway. That's so not true.
Yep. Yeah. Good. Let's get some more questions. These are great.
Yeah, Mark, friend, come on up.
Amazing, and thank you, Bob. You've really blown my mind. I have like 3 pages of notes that I think I'm going to publish a book called, well, it's the book of VO wisdom, quotes from Bob B, because I have so many things that I'm going to live by. And thank you so much for all of that.
Sure.
It's been incredible. I've worn my hand out writing. My question about staying in character, though, was, if Mr. LaFontaine, God rest his soul, in a world where he was still here, we'd still have another mentor. Of course, you would do it in the studio.
Oh, no, you misunderstood me. I wasn't talking about staying in character, playing a character. I was saying his advice was always carry yourself as a successful actor and never break character. What does that mean? You never tell anybody you're out of work. You never tell anybody you're having a slow time. You never tell anybody that you haven't heard from your agent. You never tell anybody you were dropped by your agent. You carry your part of your acting career. Part of your acting is acting like a success.
That is exactly what I took away from that. I just wanted to make sure that it's almost both the same. It's levels of each. You just have to be a different character when you're out there. Sure.
Well, I'll tell you something about me. I'm painfully shy. Painfully shy. Tish saw me at VO Atlanta a few months ago, and I'm just coming up saying hi, and I'm talking to people, and I'm giving advice. That's a character I play. I play the part of the person I want people to know. That's not the true me. My family gets that. My spouse gets that. My close friends get that. But I put on this persona that is Bob Bergen, the voiceover actor, and that guy is full of confidence. It is complete acting. I'd rather be in, Tish, in between classes or things at VO Atlanta, in that big center, whatever, where people gather. I'd rather be in the corner with a cocktail and a shrimp by myself. But where am I? I'm at the bar chatting with people and answering questions, because that's why I'm there. I'm there for them. So I'm friends with Lily Tomlin. She was my co-governor when I was on the board of the TV Academy, and she's painfully shy. And she was one that gave me that advice. Oh, I play the part of Lily Tomlin. So play the part of Bob Bergen. Okay, that works. That works for me. But you won't see me posting anything personal on social media, because I'm not a celebrity per se, but I'm kind of in the public eye in our business. I don't want people to know about who I am. None of their business. And everybody wants to overshare today. And everybody thinks, oh, if I get more likes, I'm more happy. I'm more accepted. I'm more loved. Boy, you got a lot more problems in your voiceover career. Just stop looking for validation just because you had a cookie today, or that your child, got an A on a paper. Everyone's looking for validation just for living. How about just live and phone a friend? Don't promote or advertise, especially when things are going lousy, because nobody cares. Going back to what you said earlier, Tish.
Yeah. The other thing that is a foundational thought at the dojo is be it till you see it, which is another way of saying what we just said. Show up like the successful person. Be it till you see it.
Yeah.
Which is a different. You might hear fake it till you make it, but really be it until you see it is faking anything. I mean, fake it. But Bob, what you just said, you don't fake it, you just be it, right? You know what's real, and you know what you are being, and you're being it, and then people see it.
Well, it's and I agree with 100. I like the way you said it so much better. And I've never been a fan of fake it till you make it, because here's the deal: if you're a lousy faker, you ain't gonna make it. So I'm in the process of writing a memoir, and I'm up to year 2011. And in my book, I just got my first Emmy nomination. And, I'm reliving what I was feeling back then. And what hit me was I had such imposter syndrome. Oh my God, I don't deserve this. I'm nominated for a character. Mel Blanc never got a nomination, let alone an Emmy. So holy cow, is it going to end after this? And am I going to look like a fool on the red carpet amongst all these other celebrities? But I'm like, oh, shit, I'm human. I suffer from a disease called being human. That's normal. You can't cure normal. But I went there and I pretended to be deserving of this place and this honor and this moment. So yeah, I wasn't faking it. I was being it. You're absolutely right.
The other thing I've noticed in knowing you for a long time, Bob, is that you also put yourself forward and are of service. You're not just a member of the Academy. You are part of the things that are making things happen and being connected with people. And when there's something, I know for a long time you have been at the forefront of union work, and you're always a voice of reason and clarity and how do I say, passionate calmness.
Well, also, I don't care. I don't have a need to be liked.
Right.
So I'm going to tell people what I think is the truth. When I teach with my students, I push them to their limit, but I do it in a way they're not afraid to try again. It's not going to work if I crush an ego, if I crush a soul. But if I go, shoot, they're almost there. We're going to keep working on this. You're almost there. And how and why are very important to me. That was great. Here's why it was great. Because you've got to be able to do it again. You can't just do it once with your coach. Okay, not quite connecting, and here's why it wasn't connecting. How and why are very important. So when it comes to, you know, I want to work in cartoons, but it's so hard to join the union. It was always hard to join the union. When I got into animation voiceover in 1982, there were only 3 networks: ABC, NBC, CBS. All they had were Saturday morning cartoons. Disney might have released an animated feature once every 5 to 7 years. Cut to today, we have 24/7 animation networks. We've got every major studio has a thriving animation department. Never has there been more work and more opportunities for the animation voice actor than today. But never have people complained more than today. We didn't complain back then. We just did it because we knew nobody wanted to hear it. You sounded like a loser if you're complaining, and you just wasted a lot of time. You could have done something positive.
Yeah, good. Yeah. And that's the truth. Cool. Excellent. So we're almost at the top of the hour, which is what we've committed to.
Well, you know what? We got a late start, so I don't mind
know,
going a
I know,
little bit
I know.
longer.
What I'd love to do is just kind of talk about how we keep in touch with you, Bob. How do people get to work with you? What things are out there? We'll share a little bit about what's going on at the dojo, and then we can keep on extended dance mix for as long as is comfortable for you. And yeah, but in case you do have to leave, well, we should take a picture before if anybody has to leave. So let's take a picture because we will share this.
Okay.
So if you want to have your face included, that's always a nice thing. If you can't, like Donald, it might seem like your camera might not be in the mood today, but all right. So let's do that, and I guess we'll say something like that's all, folks. And good. And so Bob, how do people stay in touch? How do people get to work with you, or how do you like to work with people?
So I stopped doing group workshops in LA with COVID, and I'm just doing Zoom private coaching. I've got a tremendously long wait list, but I will tell you that if I've worked with somebody, I will bump them up my list. We'll call this working with somebody. So if anybody is interested, just pop me a note. I know that I'm booked probably through November right now. So even and that's being bumped to get beyond November. I don't take every student that contacts me, because if I don't think you're ready for me, for my level, I don't want to take your money. I'll have too much Jewish guilt. You know, go get me to an acting class, take a beginning voiceover class, but I'm pretty advanced. I'm easy to find. I'm all over social media. I'm on X, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. If you just Google my name, you're going to find how to reach me.
Yeah, good. Excellent. So hop on and step up, and it's awesome that you don't have to be stalked, Bob. You know how to get in line to be part of Bob's world. So good. In terms of what's happening here at the dojo, we are here to guide, support, connect, and accelerate from I don't know to working pro. We meet you where you are. And our goal is to get you where you want, help you get where you want to be. You do it. We're here to help you. So wherever you are on that journey, we're here to support you and do it together. Anderson, I just want to introduce you real quick. Anderson is part of our team as what we're calling a path guide. And Anderson is someone who has walked the path of the dojo and is he's someone I could tell someone's mom, like, and I do. Well, there's Anderson. He did this, and now he's here.
Right.
And now Anderson's part of the dojo team, paying that forward, and here to support you. So, what I'd like to offer is, we're heading to One Voice next week, so we're not going to have a lot of time. But Anderson, could you put your contact, like how people can get on your calendar to talk with you about what's going on at the dojo, and we can get to know each other that way. And then for everyone who it's like say that you signed up here, and we'll do a little raffle to give a free spectator seat for our VO Dojo Pro Fight Clubs, which happen 3 times a month. A working pro workout brings together top-notch talent and decision makers who hire us. Talk about watching it happen, being in the room where it happens and getting to know people. That's the idea of Fight Club. So yeah, hop on Anderson's calendar. We'd love to meet you if we haven't. I mean, obviously, if we know you, then don't do that. But if you're new to the dojo, this is how we get to know each other and see how we can help each other. So, anything else I should mention? Oh, I mentioned the Get to Know VO next Wednesday with Benjamin Mathis, who's extraordinary human and extraordinary acting teacher and Fitzmaurice coach. But we're going to be exploring and diving into activating our acting for voiceover. So, and that's totally free too. So, yeah. And I think anything else, Kels?
VO Pro Fight Clubs.
Oh, I just mentioned that they exist.
Yes. And so if you
so I think if you want to know more, just to keep on track without going into too many details, I think if you're interested in fight clubs, go to our website, www.thevodojo.com, and go to the upcoming events. I know Lisa Fishoff, who's from Broadcasters New York, is coming up at the end of this month. And then we have some amazing, well, actually we should say them, right, Kels, because they're great people. Okay, so say who they are. Sorry, I was wrong, you were right.
Well, first of all, I'm not sure everyone knew that we were taking a picture, so let's do a countdown picture real quick, just to get the picture for socials, so everybody knows that you're cool. All right, y'all, 3, 2, 1, Porky. There you go. Okay, now just make sure we got a clear one there. So we have coming up video games with Samantha Morrison. She is so lovely, so wonderful to work with. She just started, so she worked at Mark Grau for a long time, and then she founded her own casting company and called Sought After Casting. And she is just wonderful. She's casted like Shadowverse, World War Z, a lot of video games. So, oh, and Solo Leveling. Then we have the also very lovely Ezra Weiss doing anime. He's coming on. He's been doing Miraculous for I don't know how long at this point. And he is just such a wonderful ray of sunshine. You should definitely come work with him if you can. And then another great person we have coming on is Animation with Ned Lott. So he has cast a lot for Disney, Pixar, Warner Brothers, Nickel. I mean, everybody, everybody ever. He cast Howl's Moving Castle for Studio Ghibli, and 7 other Studio Ghibli titles. So if you're interested in that world, that is an incredible opportunity to get in front of him and play with us. It's really fun just to come play. You have to be demo, booking, and repped to play, or you can come spectate. It's very, very affordable, and we would love to have you. And also we allow and advocate for you to ask questions. We want your voices in the room. We want you in front of the people who are helping dreams come true. So come join us.
Okay, cool. There's lots of good stuff happening at the dojo all the time, and there's lots of good stuff happening with Bob. So let's get back to some more questions, and then Bob, you let us know when you're done. When you like.
Let's just go to the half hour.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds really good. Okay, thank you for the extra time and for the generosity. All right, let's get the questions in the room.
Okay, y'all, Bob Bergen and Tish Hicks just gave you like 15 extra minutes. So if you have a question you've been sitting on, you better drop it in the chat. Bob, another Bob dropped in but had to leave. And he asked, Bob, what whiskey do you drink? And then, do you think conferences have value in regards to like building personal relationships.
Sure, I wish they had existed when I was starting out. Oh my God. But you know, a friend of mine, my friend Natalie, we were tour guides at Universal together back in the 80s, and her son Zane, 18 years old, fresh out of high school, wants to get into voiceover, saw that I was going to be at Voiceover Atlanta. What should I do? And I said, here's what here's your schedule. I want you just to spend the day or two, whatever, however long it is, and just be a fly on the wall. Just check out the commercial casting director, animation, games, promo. Don't pay for an X session. You're not there yet. Mm-hmm. Just be a sponge, absorb, take notes. The thing about a convention is you go there for the first time and you see hugs and kisses and oh my gods. And you're like, I don't know anybody. Neither did they on their first year. Everybody there would be delighted for you to walk up to them, look at their lanyard and say, hey, Phil, I'm Bob. Nice to meet you. I'm brand new to this. I'm so sad. Trust me, it's scary. Everybody's delighted to meet you. But if you've never done it before, just get a feel for what this business is all about. Mm-hmm. If you're more or less, I don't want to say you say veteran, but you're advanced, go there with a mission. My mission is to just concentrate on promo. I'm going to meet every promo agent, every promo casting director, every promo coach. I'm just going, or live announce, or anime, or games, whatever. Have a mission and a game plan. They list who's coming on the website. Connect with them on social media before the convention. Mm-hmm. So, and just have a game. Don't make it just all about social. I'm just there to see friends. Good for you. Hey, if that's what you want to get out of it, that's okay. But then don't bitch and moan that you didn't get anything from a career standpoint. I used to go to there was a convention called ProMax. Mm-hmm. And ProMax was a promo convention. It doesn't exist anymore, but it would bounce from LA to New York. And it was very expensive to go to. Very few actors went, but I would go. I wouldn't pay to go. I would just hang in the lobby bar. And I would say to my agent, okay, give me names I should look for in the lanyards, what they do. And he'd be like, okay, so-and-so from ABC. It's the comedy guy. They're gonna start looking for a new person. Mm-hmm. So I look for them. And you've got to have an opening line. Yeah. Hey, okay, ABC. Just have to ask, do you do anything with Grey's Anatomy, my all-time favorite show that I've been watching for the last 20-something years? Actually, I do promos for ABC, but I don't do the dramas. I just do the comedies. Oh, okay. Well, what comedies do you do? Okay, you've just broken the ice, but you've got to prepare this, guys. This is the homework you do before the convention. Why don't people do that at VO Atlanta? They just stand around hoping to get noticed. Will you look at me and talk? Guys, play the part of somebody who knows how to network, who knows how to market, who knows how to be charismatic. It's an acting part. Play it.
Mm-hmm. And we call it relationshiping here.
I love it. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Bob, I wanted to add really quick. Actually, I knew you were coming to VOA, and I was really excited. And I noticed, first of all, I looked at your socials, and you had put out a post that was like, do not come up to me and say, remember that workshop we took 7,000 years ago? And I had saw that. So I was like, okay, I clocked that. And then I saw that there were people like kind of just like you were sitting at the bar and there were just people like, I don't know, they were like, it felt like vultures standing
Well, there were people standing there waiting to talk. There were people I was talking to, but I could feel the others around me.
Yeah.
I'm like, do I acknowledge? Do I say something? Usually I'll just say, guys, come on over and talk, you know?
And so when you came up to me, that's why I made it a point to be like, here's how I know you. Here's why what your work has been so significant for me and changed my life. And I would love to have you come be in the community and come interface with us and share this special space with you. Cool. And you were immediately, I saw your guard was a little up at first when you first walked up to our table, but when I just genuinely made that connection with you, it was like, hey, I know that voice got me through high school, man. Like it got me through.
I remember our conversation. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. And you immediately dropped that wall because you knew I was trying to genuinely connect with you. It wasn't like, this is Bob Bergen, he's Porky Pig, that's awesome. I was like, no, I know the value that we can give to each other and the value that you can bring to this space. So I think you're really highlighting that of like, show others what you can give to them and how you can both, you know what I mean, benefit from this rich connection kind of thing. So
yeah.
Anyway,
Cool.
just wanted to put that out there, that checking people's socials and just being cognizant of their space and respecting their space and kind really goes a
Yeah.
long way.
Yeah. And purpose, have intent, have purpose.
Yeah.
Be who you are, be your career on purpose. Don't just be vague. And as far as whiskey, I like everything from Maker's Mark. I'm not a big fan of peaty, dirty whiskeys. I like more smooth. I like it on the rocks. And I can't do it too often because that'll be like the next day I'm like, okay. So but on the rocks with just about that much, that'll last me throughout the night.
Good to know. Good to know. Good. What other questions do we have in the few minutes that we have?
So I actually have a question for you, Bob.
Okay.
So my question for you is, how were you able to keep the vision of what you wanted? And I know your origin story. I've read it many times and heard it. How were you able to like keep that vision even when things were slow or you felt discouraged? Does that make sense?
Sure. I mean, you're an actor. You're gonna have good years, good days, bad days. I always knew what I wanted to do. I market every day. So a luxury for me is to be done with my auditions by 9 o'clock, and before dinner time, I have the whole day to market. That's a luxury. But I will put in at least an hour or two of marketing every day. If I've got a day where, like next Tuesday, I'm at Disney from 9 to 6. I got to leave my house probably about 7 to get to Burbank and with traffic. So I'll be up really, really, really early to get an hour of marketing in. So nothing's changed. I treat my career, I do my marketing the exact same way I did when I was starting out. It's just free today. I used to spend 10 grand a year back when I was 18, 19, 20 years old on marketing. Today, marketing is free because it's all done electronically. So that's kind of a blessing.
Huge. We're running our business. We build the skills, and then that is getting that out into the world is our business. Yeah, it doesn't happen magically. It is magical when as it happens, and it doesn't happen magically. Yeah. Good. Excellent.
All right. We got Matthew with another excellent question.
I actually have 2 more questions, if possible. The first one is, Bob, you mentioned you can kind of tell when someone's first at a mic, oh, this person is brilliant, but we have to like fine-tune it some more. I guess, what exactly is it that you see or look for personally in an actor that tells you this person has got it? And also, how can we build ourselves up to that point?
You build yourself up to that point by taking classes, by studying, by finding that teacher that you connect with, a technique that you connect with, that brings your acting chops, hones your acting chops, and brings truth to your acting. What am I seeing in the it factor? Brilliance. Really, you can look. You don't have to be an acting teacher or be named Spielberg to go to a play or a movie and go, God, that touched me. That was freaking brilliant. I'll see that from a student, but they're coming to the table with chops. They're coming to the table with acting. Look, I think you're born an actor. I think you're born a painter. I think you're born a dancer. What class and technique does is it gives you the skills to repeat your talent at will. So and what was your other question?
My second question would be, this is kind of maybe the flip side of what you've been talking about in regards to approaching agents and whatnot. When you have an agent, I guess, and your contract is about to end, how do you know it's time to, I guess, leave or to renew and stay on the ship?
Well, certainly it's not lack of booking. That's not a reason to leave an agent. That's a reason for an agent to drop you. I've left several agents. I was with one agent for 13 years. And for the first, I'd say 9 years, I saw this, I saw this, I saw this. And then from year 9 to 13, it did this. I was working a lot, bringing a lot to the table, but I wasn't getting anything new. And for several years, I'd be like, we need new, because I'm doing some contracted stuff. There will be a day where the contract ends. And I wasn't being supplied anything new. And I gave it 3 or 4 years, you know, and I wasn't hurting financially, but I wanted, and so that's when I realized, okay, the agent can't bring me new. They're doing the best they can, and this is it. So it's time to move on. I can only relate to myself of why I would move on.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I think you're good. There's a couple more questions. Yeah.
Robert Jackson, come on up.
Hey,
Hello,
hey,
Robert.
how's it going?
Good.
Hi, how's it going?
Good.
Alrighty, so my question is, I don't know if you've already answered this earlier, but what is something that continues to, keep your creative spirit going, especially when there's so much uncertainty and just a lot of, I mean, I know that a strike is over, but with so much that is happening in the industry right now, like a lot of uncertainty, what is something that continues to fuel your creative spirit? Like, what's something that keeps you going in spite of times like this?
Be more specific about the uncertainty. I'm not sure what you mean.
Okay, so with a lot of AI and stuff like that, and a lot of shows that are getting canceled left and right, just a lot of recent changes that are just going about.
Well, people who did vaudeville lost their job when they started silent movies. A lot of silent movie stars lost their jobs because they didn't speak well for sound. There's always been uncertainty. I don't care. I don't worry about what's out of my control. I don't sit and dwell on the woes is me's of the world. And this business is always going to have challenges. So what? Why waste your life worrying about, well, what if? Well, AI's here, guys. It's going to infiltrate. So what? Television infiltrated film. CGI animation infiltrated hand-drawn animation. I don't dwell on the negatives and what's not in my control. I don't care. I don't care if I don't get a job because of ageism. I don't care if I don't get a job. I don't care. I go to my booth and I create, and that's why I do it. I don't go in my booth to book a job. I don't do this for the money. I never did. I do it because I love to act. So my suggestion is, don't give a damn.
Don't buy in.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bob, I also want to say, so this is a book. I don't know if you remember this book or you know this book, but it's How to Read Copy by Adrian Cronauer. And this book was written in like the 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
And one of the first sentences, it made me laugh so hard, is like, this business is so hard. It's harder than ever to get into. And I'm like, I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, man, this shit never changes, does it? I'm like, it never
No.
changes. Yeah.
And it's always been hard. Back in the 30s, hundreds of actors would stand outside MGM and Universal and Paramount trying to get an extra day, just as an extra on a film. And extras are trying to get upgraded with a speaking part. I mean, why would anybody think it's going to get easier?
Right. Pretty good. Hopefully that's inspiring, Robert. It's good. Cool.
All right. Awesome. We have Tyler up next and then Heather on board.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. So I'm at a point in time where I've taken a couple of classes, I've gotten some roles, but I'm working on scaling, right? A lot of what I've received today in terms of acquiring agents and expanding on that level has been related to the game of relationships and clout. But from where I am, I'm wondering, outside of conferences and, of course, making my own opportunities through outreach, what opportunities are there to build the relationships that bring the aforementioned clout that had been so heavily discussed in the
What do you
agents?
Yeah, can you
spec-
say that more clearly? Like too many words.
yeah, thank you.
Let's
Sure, no worries.
minutes.
So specifically, you mentioned that naming your clout or the relationships that bring clout are the ways to, in addition to your brilliance, get an agent.
Yeah. So it's who you know, darling. It's
Yeah.
who you know. So get to know people. So how do you get to know people? So your question is, how do you get to know the people who are the people that you need to know? Is that?
Yes, that is the question.
Okay,
So
let me ask
outside
you-
of conferences and
so let me ask you specifically, in one sentence, what do you want to do in voiceover?
make authentic characters in animation and
Stop. That's too vague. That's
Okay.
way. I want to work on Phineas and Ferb. That's specific.
Sure.
Now you go to IMDb. Who casts it? Who produces it? Who writes it? Who are the actors? Who are their agents? And now you've got the specifics to market to.
Those are the people you get to know.
If all you want to do is characters, you're not going to work, because that's what everybody wants to do, and they're not working. You need to know specifically where you want to work, and then you're going to go to those actors' websites and go, they're good. Well, get that good, and have a demo that reflects the comedy, the style, the feel of that show. Look at the producer's other work. What else are they doing on the air right now? Oh, that's another IMDb page with another 500 people to connect with and to learn and to do. That's how you build your network, your community.
And then when you do go to the LinkedIn, go back to the thing that Bob said at the top. You do dog rescue? I do dog rescue. You have a 13-year-old kid? Holy crap, my kid's going to middle school. Like, then relate as, don't be, well, I can't say don't be a stalker, because Bob was totally a stalker.
I'm a little bit of a stalker.
But be cool. Be cool. But how do you find the things that like make you not be someone who's standing around going like this, but builds relationship, right?
Yeah.
And here's something else. So we talk about this at the dojo a lot. Because I think a lot of this, in terms of building our skills and building our capacity as business people, because we have to do both. When there's something in front of you, what turn it around and find an answer. Like, how do I do that? I don't know. Go to the bakery, get some cookies. I don't know. Offer to babysit their kids. I don't know. Like what are 100 different ways? I think we sometimes as actors, as performers, as artists, we get sold a bill of goods and buy into a bill of goods that acting is not business and business is not creative. And that's not true. It's all creativity. Business is creativity. So in the same way that you would go like, ooh, what's up with this character and da 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 da, go, ooh, who do I get to know today? And how can I be creative about what would be a cool way to do that? What would be something that make me stand out? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, so when we have these things that go like, well, that stops me. I couldn't possibly get past that. Go like that, go like that, go like that. What else do you know? Oh, dissolve it, right? Like, so good answering the questions, and keep on asking other questions that get you answers. Is that helpful and encouraging? I hope so. Or does it make sense? Does it make sense? Because you might be like, that's a crock of shit, Tish. I don't know, but but what comes up for you?
I think initially that's sort of where I was coming from in terms of making your own opportunities. So I guess when I shortened it down, I had excised that aspect of it in terms of reaching out to people, looking up their IMDb's, making my own opportunity. But if there were more crafted spaces outside of conferences. That's specifically what I was looking for. Because yeah, I know how to make friends. I know how to network. I'm just
But
wondering if there's spaces I'm not aware of.
Can I give an example of something I've done?
Sure.
I'm constantly doing the same thing that Tish is saying. But how you do it and where you do it, when you do it, all matters. This is a network I'm the promo voice for. It's MeTV Tunes. MeTV is classic television. It's like, you know, Gilligan's Island and All in the Family. And it's my white noise in my office. I have it on all day long because I like to hear, you know, laugh tracks. It's just, and about 5-6 years ago, I'm like, I want to be their promo voice. So I just went to their corporate website. I found the name and the email formula for the guy that runs the network. And I popped him a note and I said, you know, I'm with Atlas Talent. Here's my demo. I love your station. And I like working on with people in places I like. I'd love to be your promo voice. Email me back right away. Love your demo. Love your agent. We've had the same promo guy for 20 years and we're not looking to get somebody else, but I will keep this on file. I said, great. A year later, popped him another note. And my subject line was, your promo guy still alive? And he got back to me, LOL, yep, still very much alive, still very much under contract. About 3 years ago, maybe, my agent calls me up and says, well, you planted that dot. It got connected. It took about 3 years, but MeTV is starting a new network called MeTV Tunes, and they'd like you to be their promo voice, and they want to offer you a 2-year contract.
Whoa.
So you guys, I do this myself every day, but there's purpose, there's intent. There, it's not just like, who do I know? I'll reach out to them. I had a reason to reach out to them. And I also was very honest in the fact, I like your product and I would like to be a part of it. That, you guys, insurance people do this. All business people do this. Doctors go to conventions and do this. Actors can do it too.
Yeah, my brain goes, Bob, maybe you planted a seed to that producer, that executive. Well, you know what would be really cool if we had this for cartoons. Like maybe they did, maybe it was because you, voice of, you know, legacy voice of.
I don't think so. I actually, I took them to dinner. I said, hey, did I get the?
Oh, you asked about
No,
that?
no. They had been thinking about that for quite some time.
Okay, and then it just.
Because on MeTV proper, they would air cartoons on Saturday mornings.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
So, but they were like, yeah, you know what? Well, here's what really happened. Cartoon Network and Boomerang were going away.
Oh, right.
And because they were going away, they reached out to Warner Brothers and said, can we have the Hanna-Barbera library, the Warner Brothers library?
So pretty smart.
Yeah, and it took a lot of time because they wanted to clean it up and digitally enhance it and all that stuff. So yeah, this whole thing was going.
Oh, that's cool.
But it didn't hurt that the guy that wanted to be their promo voice for their regular network does cartoons, because they're debuting Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the network in a few weeks. I've been doing promos for like months. So they're always throwing ideas at me. They're like, hey, can you do it like a surfer dude? So I'm like, yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles dudes every Friday night. So that's solving a problem. That's giving them my brand married to their brand.
Yep. Good. And one of the things, this might be a good place to close. The heartbeat of the dojo is that there is no they, there's only we.
Yeah.
Everything we've been talking about, that we are here together. Now you have a we with Bob Bergen, because we were together today, and Bob created a we of like, hey, I like you, you know, what can we do together? So how are we always looking at everything about how are we part of your solution, whether it's an agent, a client, each other, how are we part of the solution, and how do we not allow there to be they-ness, right?
Yeah. And Tish, also, Tyler, to your question, you're showing up, you're already on the right path. And there's so many free communities all over, or there's so many free events all over the VO community, like Ask Dave Fenoy anything. Every single Wednesday, it's free. He talks to agents and people all the time. And even those connections, like, even though it seems so like tiny, that's a connection right there. So if, for example, we had Jen Rudin on, she cast The Incredibles, she cast Princess and the Frog, Arcane. So like, even though like she is like a top-notch CD, it's like there are spaces to get in. This is how I got this job, actually. I just kept showing up to the Q&As, and then I took the beginner class, and I was like, Tish, I love this place. I want to work for you. Like, is that cool? And I sent her my resume, and she's like, okay, let's get you in on something. So like just taking those chances and like showing up where you can, when you can, and working with what you have instead of just saying, well, I don't have $500 to go to One Voice, so I guess I'm not going. It's just like strategically finding those spaces to put yourself in and asking meaningful questions and asking like ask them about their work and even like things they post on their socials. Like, oh yeah, I saw you have I saw you have a Saint Bernard. My dog is da da da. Like, I hope your dog is recovering from surgery well. Even stuff like that. It sticks in people's minds. It matters. So I just wanted to throw that out there as well.
Yeah, good. But we're just a little bit over the half hour. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Bob, for sharing your Sunday. I know getting on your dance card is a great thing. And so thank you for making the time and being here with us.
You
And
bet.
thank you all for being here, because all of our energies together make for these things. Look forward to hearing, to having you connect with Anderson. If you are in Dallas, the team will be there. We'd love to hang out with you. And if you're not, we'll see you in the next thing. There's always something good to happen at the dojo, and we're always happy to have you join us. And Bob, I look forward to figuring out like what further collaborations we can create.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. And thanks, Kelsey. And we will see you all very soon.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bob.